context of the rift that we saw that undermined the second half of the Eagles season last year. Do we expect that that's going to get better? I could see a world that it comes off the rails a lot easier than I could see them getting back to the Super Bowl.
Crew did you dirty there.
I was wrong. I was wrong about this Eagles team.
I wasn't doubting that, but I mean.
No, I'm just saying I can admit when I was wrong. I mean, one of the hardest things to break down is the culture in the building, the chemistry in the locker room. And based on the first 4 games of the season, it felt like it was touch and go. But they had a Damascus Road moment during the bye week, and everybody went to Nick Sirianni and said they needed him to be who he was, and they wanted to run the football more. They formed an identity around that offensive line, around Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts running the football, and they've been able to ride that formula to another appearance to the Super Bowl. And now we're talking about being able to get to 2 championship games in a span of 3 years. It's pretty damn impressive from the leaders in that Eagles locker room.
Including their head coach, Nick Sirianni?
Sure.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. All right, 55-23. They win yesterday. 7 rushing touchdowns. Nick Sirianni, the no-context resume. I'm going to say it that way, which is borderline disrespectful, but it's not meant to be because I'm with Smalls on this. CeCe's on the other side. This guy has not been good since he's been an NFL head coach. He's been phenomenal. 48-20, 2 Super Bowls, 4 playoffs, 2 division titles, a winning record in the postseason. And yes, he has been given arguably the best roster in the sport, but he also hasn't screwed up the best roster in the sport. And what he's done in his first 4 seasons of the franchise's head coach on ESPN2, we have the graphic, getting there to the Super Bowl multiple times. His name is with Mike Tomlin and Mike Shanahan, Bill Belichick, Joe Gibbs, Don Shula. That's pretty damn good to get there twice in the first 4 years as head coach. And their team yesterday with Saquon, who was phenomenal, the tush push, which we're going to get to because there's so much around that. I did not know you could just hand out points if you're a referee. That's an amazing thing. Horrible job by Coach Belichick retroactively not figuring out how to get the refs to do that. But that is...
Wow, it only took 35 minutes into the show for you to bring up Belichick.
Well, was this game in St. Louis? No, okay, it wasn't.
It's not even close.
7 rushing touchdowns, 4 total touchdowns by Hurts, 3 total touchdowns by Barkley. Yeah, I think Sirianni deserves a lot of credit.
It was a dominant effort from the Philadelphia Eagles yesterday, and I agree. I think we need to start putting some respect on Nick Sirianni's name. I know that for a long time we thought this thing would go off the rails the way it did last year when there was that slide at the end of the season and he publicly admitted he didn't know how to stop it. I know that there are moments with him where he doesn't seem to have the regalness of a head coach. And by that, I mean, if you're yelling at the fans, if you're getting involved in stuff like that, it seems like that stuff should be beneath an NFL head coach. And we hang on to stuff like that. When there's reports that there's tension between the head coach and the quarterback, we hang on to stuff like that. But there were a lot of moments this season where little conflicts popped up that could have derailed the Philadelphia Eagles, and it did not. And if you're the head coach of an organization that goes to 2 Super Bowls in 3 seasons, and you have the record that Nick Sirianni has, I can't do anything but give you the respect that you deserve. He's done a very good job.
Here's why none of the stuff before Week 5 even matters on Nick Sirianni's resume. The organization thought about firing him after last year.
Yeah.
So the people that cut his checks, the people that employ him, were thinking about getting rid of him. So all of the wins, the win percentage, the Super Bowl that he went through a couple of seasons ago, that didn't matter because they thought about firing him. So if they were on the fence about him, why is it unfair that I would be on the fence about Nick Sirianni this year?
It's not unfair at all.
No, that's what I'm saying. So, yeah, I'm looking at this Eagles team, and I'm saying good on them for being able to overcome that early adversity. They had to deal with some adversity in yesterday's game. You talked about the injuries up front with Cam Jurgens. Then Landon Dickerson got out. Cam Jurgens actually suited up in the second half and played well. They were able to find ways to beat back the Washington Commanders when they tried to get in the game. They came up with opportunistic takeaways. I mean, the one on Jeremy McNichols right before halftime was absolutely huge to make it a 2-possession game. Then you saw the one at the end of the third quarter on Austin Eckler, which kept the Commanders from being able to cut it to a 1-possession game. So absolutely phenomenal by the Eagles being able to come up with plays when they absolutely had to have him. And to me, that's a reflection of the leadership within that locker room. And that's why I start with Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley when we have those conversations. I will give Nick Sirianni credit for not getting in the way, but you don't get any points for being able to beat a rookie quarterback at home in the conference championship game when you have the better team.
What if that team and that coach beats the Kansas City Chiefs as they're trying to go for a 3?
Oh, yeah. You're doing something then that I don't expect you to do.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing. The Eagles will probably be a favorite in Super Bowl 59 because I just think their roster is better than the Chiefs top to bottom. But nobody's going to dismiss Patrick Mahomes, right? It feels like, you know, the Philadelphia Eagles are in that position where in order to be the champs, they got to beat the champs. Yeah. And this is a team that's won back-to-back championships. And, oh, by the way, this current run that Patrick Mahomes is on with 9 straight playoff wins, it started with you. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, this is a situation now where you have an opportunity to get back some retribution. And if Nick Sirianni finds a way to pull that off, then all of a sudden I think it's fair to put his name in the conversation with the very best coaches in the NFL today.
I'm comfortable doing it now, to be honest with you. Sirianni yesterday, after the game, after clinching another spot in the Super Bowl, discussed his relationship with Jalen Hurts over the past few years.
We've been through a lot together, right? A lot of wins, some down times, but that's what kind of forges relationships. And I don't want anybody else leading this team, you know, at quarterback other than him. He's a winner. Again, it deals with so much criticism, which just blows my mind, right? Because of the questions I have to answer. I don't look too much into that, but the questions that I have to answer, and it's just like, man, this guy wins. I mean, he's won his entire life. Like, that's more important. You know, winning at quarterback is more important than any stat that you go through. And I'm sure, you know, it'd be the same thing. Like, oh, he's got great players around him. Well, you tell me a quarterback that's won like this that has around him.
I gotta be honest, like whether you think he's great or not, he's so right about what he just said about Jalen Hurts in my mind. I have not understood.
Is he though?
Yes, I have not understood the criticism of Jalen Hurts all year. What are we criticizing?
Who's criticizing Jalen Hurts?
Oh my God, Pat is an Eagles fan. There are many people that have.
Pat gets infuriated with Jalen Hurts because he thinks he takes too many sacks.
Okay.
And I might agree with that. But overall, I don't think anybody looks at Jalen Hurts and says, this guy can't get it done. This guy ain't good enough.
He went to a Super Bowl and arguably outplayed Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, like I'm just sitting back looking at the rankings that I had of the quarterbacks coming into the postseason. I had Jalen Hurts 6, so right outside of the top 5.
I'm agreeing that he's awesome.
Like now, retroactively, that might be a little low, but there was plenty of respect that we had for this show when it comes to the Jalen Hurts of it all.
And also, we can't forget how the Eagles season last year ended, and maybe that's why you had him where you had him.
But I think, Smalls, there's been so many people that have asked the question about whether or not he can win the game for them. And I'm like, he is. Because he's not giving the other team the ball. Like, that's helping them win. They have an awesome offense. He hasn't thrown an interception since November 10th.
Yeah. I think
he's awesome.
I think the Jalen Hurts of it all is a straw man argument.